Hi everyone, I'm Chris. Today I'm going to show you how to do the corner to corner crochet. It's a really fun technique where you start at one corner and you keep going, you keep working until whatever your piece is big enough, and then you decrease back down to the other corner. It's really easy, it's a lot of fun. There are some little tips and tricks, so I want to show you those. So grab your yarn, probably a couple colors will work best, and come join me. So here is our corner to corner piece, and in this piece I started here and I worked across to the other corner, and you can see it is square, and that is a good way to tell that you are doing it correctly. The height should equal the width at all times, so you'll keep it square and it'll all work out. There are a couple little techniques, so to do it we're going to use two colors. You can do it all in one color, you can do every row a different color. And the trick to this is how do you know when you're big enough? Know how big your diagonal that you ultimately want, because once you reach that, you're going to start decreasing to the other point. So in this case, I knew that I wanted my little swatch to be about 4 inches, so I worked until my one side was 4 inches, and then I went back the other way. So to get started, I'm going to just start with your slip knot on your hook, and you're going to chain 6. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and in the 4th chain from the hook, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to work a double crochet. Okay, and then you have 2 chains remaining on your foundation chain. So you're going to work a double crochet in each of those. All right, 1 and 2. All right, and you can see there I have my first little square. So if I were to bring my piece over, that is the equivalent of this part here. So now I need to go work the next row. To do that, you're going to turn your work. This is the only really tricky part of this, is making sure you get your rows set properly. After that, it's easy as pie. We're going to chain 6 after we turn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, then we're going to repeat what we did with the first block. So 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4. And work a double crochet. 1, then there's 2 chains left, 2, and 3. Okay, now see how I have it set like this, where both of the squares are going the same direction? That is not correct. You need to make sure that this bottom square is in fact flipped over, so we're working on the wrong side, and your 2 initial squares are opposite one another. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look for that chain 3 space where we started. Remember, we skipped 4, we worked our first chain, our first double crochet in the 4th chain. So there's our chain 3 space, and we're going to slip stitch right in that space. Okay? So there we go. So now I've kind of made 2 little squares stacked on top of each other. Now we need to make our second square for the second row. So this is how you'll know what row you're on. This is 2 squares, so row 2, 3 squares, row 3, 4, etc. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to simply chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work 3 double crochets in that same gap, in that same chain 3 space. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. All right, so we've finished this row, and actually I want to change colors so you can really see what we're doing. So I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to grab my new color. And to change our colors, what we're going to do is just simply grab a loop, pull it through, and pull that old color down, and then we're just going to start working with our new color. Okay, and then at the end we'll weave in these two ends. Okay, so to continue, we're going to flip our work. All right, so now our V is going to face towards our left hand. So see here, our V is facing towards our left, and we're going to continue like we did the row before. Chain 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. We double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. And fourth chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Work a double crochet. Very good. And then in the last two chains that are remaining, work a double crochet. One more. And that is that beginning chain where we switch colors. It might get a little loose, so just grab that tail and pull it, and everything will come right back together. And again, see here, I've got everything stacked. It should not be. It should be this way. Okay, then we're going to take this and slip stitch in that chain 3 space, just like previously. Go. Now we need to work a block in this V. So we'll do it just like we did before. Chain 3, 3, work 3 double crochets in that space. Same space, we haven't moved ahead. 1, 2, 3. And then once again, we're going to look for the chain 3 space on the next block, and we're going to lock it down there with a slip stitch. Okay? So if I set that down, you'll see I've worked 1, 2. Now I need to do my third block. So we're going to work 3 chains, and again 3 double crochets in that same space. So you can see the pattern here. If you're increasing, 3 chains, 3 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. And one more. My yarn is caught. There we go. All right, there we go. I'm going to change my colors again just so you can see what's happening. So I'm just going to cut that. And again, I'm going to change colors. I'll demonstrate that one more time. So here's my old loop, my old color. I'm just going to pull the new color through that loop, basically like a slip stitch. Old color gets tugged down. New color gets the work. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue. I'm going to do one more increase row, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to decrease, because there are a couple little tricks there. All right, so I have decided that this is as big as I want my square, and you can see here it's matching up with my sample, and you can see also that the length and the height are both the same. That's a good gauge to make sure that you're doing it right. If they are not, you might want to take a look at your gauge. Sometimes your stitches will be very tight, so they'll be short, and you might need to adjust by either using a bigger hook or loosening your tension. So I'm going to change color one more time, because basically what I need to do is I need to work 1, 2, 3 squares, right? 1, 2, 3. So see here, I've got 3 V's. But I don't want to work one on top of here again, otherwise we're going to increase. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my color here. And as you can see, this is a fun technique. It goes really, really quickly. A lot of chance to play with color as well, because this really does stand out very, very well with a lot of color. So the first thing I'm going to do for a decrease row is I need to get over to this chain 3 space so that I can work a square in between here. So to do that, I'm simply going to slip stitch across 3 times. So 1, and I'm going to give that beginning thread there a tug just to tighten everything up. 2, 3 slip stitches. All right, so you can see here that that has now taken me over to that chain 3 space. So now we'll slip stitch in that chain 3 space and just work a chain like we normally, or a square like we normally would. 1, 2, 3 chains, and 3 double crochets. Okay. 2 and 3. And then we go over to the next square in the row below, find that chain 3 space, and lock it down with a slip stitch. So see that? We lock that down, chain 3, very good, and 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to lock it down in that chain 3 space. All right, so there we go. Do one more, because we are going back down now. So 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to lock that down in the next chain 3 space with a slip stitch. Okay, so if I set that down, you'll see here, I have now worked 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, that's it for that row. You're done. Change your color or continue as your pattern shows. I'm going to show you one more time that little trick to slip stitch over so that you are actually decreasing. So I'm going to change my color one more time. Okay, so cut the old color off. New color, we're just going to drop the old one, pull the new one through, give the old one a tug to tug everything together. And there we go, we're ready to go. Okay, then we're going to turn our work. All right, and now we need to get to this little V here. So we're going to slip stitch across the top of that first square 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now we're to that chain 3 space, so we're going to slip stitch right in that space, work 3 chains, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then lock it down in the next square. All right, so there you go. Don't forget to slip stitch up the top of that square below when you're decreasing, and there you go. You have just learned how to corner crochet. All right, so I have finished my little square. You can see it's the same size as my sample. I have obviously some ends to weave in and trim out, but if you do it like this with these little pieces, just look at this, you can play with it almost like a quilt. You can make some neat patterns, some chevrons, all kinds of fun things. Or you can keep going and make a huge blanket. It's really great for baby blankets. It's so warm and cuddly. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and we'll get back to you. I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to come see us. We'll have more soon.